What's up everyone, MW3 here, and I got a gameplay for you of me on Erosion. Once again, this is going to be a 57-3 gameplay with a commentary about how to play Erosion, and this is going to be my first ever how-to guide on how to play a map in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So, without further ado, let's get started. I know in the beginning of the gameplay I flip around a lot, but this is the class I'm going to be using during each of my gameplays that I'm going to be posting, because this is possibly the best class I have made for this game type. What it is the ACR with red dot sight and impact. Impact is a huge thing. If you put impact on any of these maps, like both of these maps, it will destroy the entire team. The walls will be made out of paper, and there will be no place for them to hide. There are a few places on a ground where you can hide, but really, if you have impact on an ACR in these two maps, you are literally, the other team is defenseless pretty much. I have a 44 Magnum just because I don't really feel like putting anything else. I have a Bouncing Betty for the spawn system, which I'll be talking about later. I'm going to put a Bouncing Betty on some of the spawns, and because of that, it'll force the spawns to go somewhere else and not in that area. And even if it does go in that area, chances are I will get that kill. I have flashbangs because I'm going to be getting Recon Pro, which is another thing that you really need during this, like if you're going to be playing 3v3s. Recon Pro is probably one of the best perks in this game types. It's amazing for this. It is such a team player perk, and it allows you to shoot through more walls. If you do shoot through the wall and you don't get the kill, at least you have them on recon and you know exactly where they are. But I'm going to have Scavenger as my first perk because I want the extra mags, and I can deal without the recon for a couple kills. So I have Scavenger as my first perk because I know I'm going to be spraying through walls and I need to have the extra magazines. Quick Draw because it's my crutch. You can change that out for Hardline. I definitely think Hardline would be a better choice for that, but it's up to your own personal preference on this. And last but definitely not least is Sitrep Pro, which is by far the best perk in the game right now. Sitrep Pro lets you hear through dead silence. The only thing that can block Sitrep Pro is crouching or not strafe walking, but aim down sight walking, and that may be annoying, but it definitely, Sitrep Pro is really helpful. Definitely use Sitrep Pro because you will be hearing people across the map with it. I'm not kidding about that. These are small maps, but you will be hearing people across the map with this, and you will see in this gameplay that you're about to watch, I will be using Sitrep Pro like a monster the entire time. I almost forgot to mention the rest of my specialist bonus. I have Sleight of Hand because Sleight of Hand makes me feel like a monster, and I can actually move around a lot quicker with it. And I have Marksman actually as my third perk and not anything else. I don't have Assassin on. I don't have any of that kind of stuff. I don't have Blind Eye because kill streaks are not very abundant in this. Most people use Specialists, so try and avoid Assassin. Very few people would be using spy planes. But I have Marksman because of that. Not a lot of people are using Assassin, actually. A lot of people are running Quick Draw or Hardline in this game mode. So Marksman will let you see literally across the map. It'll let you pinpoint people across the map very easily. And with the help of Recon Pro, you will be able to track them down like you're some sort of hunter, chasing its prey. It's amazing, and it's a great combination. Definitely try it out. First off, we're going to be looking at the initial spawn points on the map, and there's only two game types in this mode, or on this map at least. There's only two game types you can play publicly, so I'm only going to be going over team deathmatch and kill confirm strategies, just to let you guys know. But anyways, as you can see on the map in front of you right now, these are the two spawn points. Initially, these are the two spawn points. There's the blue side and the red side, and I will be showing you guys rushing routes on which way to go, and one side is definitely a lot easier than the other. So first off, we're going to be starting out on the blue side, and this is the bad way to do it. This is something that you should never do in either team deathmatch or kill confirm, because when you spawn in, no matter what, your first spawn is going to be your initial spawn. So I didn't realize that here, and their entire team just spawned literally in front of me, and that's going to happen a lot to you if you do that route. Alternatively, if you turn right instead of running straight, you can go down in this little hallway right here, and you will be able to spray down this very small crevice. And through that, you'll be able to get at least two, three, maybe even 4 kills through here. And 4 kills in a 3v3 is a lot, but this is pretty much the best way to open your route in kill confirmed or team deathmatch on Erosion though. And now for the other side. So here we have me using the P90. I'm going to be switching to the ACR right about now though, and this is going to be my opening route for the other side of the map at least. So as you can see, I'm using the exact same class I showed earlier in the video actually, and normally what I do is that I go down and to the right, and I go over on these little this little staircase over here, and you'll be able to see them spawn right in front of you just like that. The only problem is, the only flaw I haven't worked out about this is the grenade, and that's a problem. But that's pretty much going to be my opening route. I'm pretty sure I can find a better gameplay, but I normally spawn on the other side, so that's probably one of the problems with me showing you guys a better route. I normally spawn on the blue side instead of the red side, so I'm sorry I can't really get a better clip of that. But that, for the most part, is how I open up my route on that side of the map. So here we're going to be going over the different callouts on this map, and hopefully you guys will be able to take note of them, because callouts are definitely a huge part of being in competitive play, whether it's in a pub or if it's in, actual, MLG or whatever GB, whatever you guys are. Callouts are a huge part of it because it's like a UAV, but like audible pretty much. It's the only difference between it. So here are my names that I came out for a couple of different places on the maps. They're definitely linked to the hotspots on the map, which I will also go over later. First up, we have Barn. It is located in the top right corner of the map. Next, we have Church. It is the long building that I showed you guys earlier. It's also called Art. We have Clay in the corner, in the bottom-hand corner, not corner, it's bottom-hand side. We have Tower in the middle, which is a very big hotspot I'll be talking about. We have Two-Story over here, which is a pretty underrated building, in my opinion. And we have North Alley and Back Alley. Those are some of the biggest spots I've noticed in the map so far. Next, we will be going over the hotspots on the map. Hotspots are places where I see a lot of activity going on, quite a big amount of the time. Big amount of the time? That makes no sense. I see quite a lot of activity in these areas in the map, and I will be pointing them out to you. And in the gameplay, you will also be able to see a lot of these hotspots being utilized. One of which right now is North Alley. Sorry, I couldn't think of it for a second. But anyways, without further ado, we will be going on to the hotspots right about now. So as you guys can see on your screen right now, I have a map of Erosion with a bunch of circles on it, which may not make any sense to you, but the bigger the circle pretty much is the more activity I see in that area. The only problem is that Church is a little bit bigger than Tower, which is kind of wrong, but you guys get pretty much the point. So pretty much the places where I see the most activity in are going to be definitely Barn, Church, and Tower. The reason for this is because Barn and Church are both very big hotspots, and a lot of people like to go to them because they like to center around the two-story in general. The two-story is what a lot of really noobish players will say is the spot to be in during when you're playing in a game of Erosion. For some odd reason, people like to camp in that two-story, and not like the two-story on the side, but they want to camp in the top tower. For some odd reason, and I don't know why. It's just a little building with 4 windows. It's not even that good. So trust me, do not go over there. It is definitely a waste of your time. But a couple other spots are going to be up by North Alley, a little bit south of it. You will be seeing 2 circles over there. Those are normally 2 spots for two people will normally be standing either on the staircases behind the circles or just somewhere in that general area. There's usually a person walking by over there, and they're trying to get by and do something else. I don't even know. They just had their own agenda. That's up to them. But that's neither here nor there. The last spot you will see on your map is in Clay. A lot of people like to camp through this area right here because it is a very good place to have cover, but it is very open in my opinion, and I definitely try to keep away from it as much as possible. I do go in Clay a couple times, but it's just like you can be flanked from the left in 2 different directions. There's left twice and there's right once, and it's not a good place to be in. But you'll be able to see across all the way from Back Alley to North Alley, and you'll be able to catch people trying to get into the two-story. If you control if you control Church and Clay, you can control two-story in someone's thought process. You probably could be able to control two-story that way, but it's definitely not something that I would be going for. For the most part, I actually like to keep underground. I like to move around. I move around the outside of the map, or if I don't, I'm trying to move my mouse and show you guys. But I move around the outside of the map a lot, and if I'm not moving around outside the map, I'm going through the tunnels under the bridges below two-story. And that's pretty much my strategy for the hotspots, at least in Erosion. I really am sorry that there's a lot of mostly pictures in this game, and not this gameplay, but in this video there's a lot of pictures, and I really am sorry for that. But to get my point across, I feel like the pictures are really going to help people. But definitely tell me in the comments right now, is this actually helping you so far? Is this something that's actually helping you, or am I really using too many pictures right now? Because I'm kind of worried that I am. But I have I think 1 more picture, and it is going to be the respawns in this area. It's going to work the same way as the hotspots. Instead, it's just different colors, and it's going to show definitely definitely the hotspot spawn points. In my opinion, both Aground and Erosion work on like a hotspot system for the spawn points, not like specific ones. Obviously they are like specific spawn points, but they definitely like people spawn in groups in like certain areas. I don't like actually memorize. There's a good that was a good example of impact right there, but I kind of missed that. But as I was saying earlier, these couple game types, these couple game modes, they really focus around like group spawning in like the same area, and they're trying to like push the players into playing with each other and playing as a group, as like an organized like group. So I'll be showing you right about now. You'll see on your screen a picture of all the hotspot spawns on this map. So if you look on your screen now, these 3 circles that you see on the map are probably the 3 biggest spawn points I have seen while playing this game so far. Barn and the back corner over by church, in between church and clay, and that little like back in between church and North Alley. Those are the 3 biggest spawn points I have seen while playing this game, and you can totally spawn trap people so badly in all those spots. It is amazing, and definitely keep an eye out for those spots. Now you see 2 triangles on your screen. Those are also very popular spawn points, but they're not as popular as Barn and the other 2 spawn points. So I mark them as rectangles, but they are definitely things you should actually look out for. The last of which you'll see a blue question mark on the bottom right hand corner of your screen near your 2-story, and that is in sort of the little swamp area next to the tree and next to the big tree pretty much. There is a spawn point down there and somewhere near that area, but I very rarely see it, and that's I don't really pay attention too much to that unless my teammates are over in like North Alley and like church. Like then I'll be paying attention to that corner because that is where they'll be spawning. But other than that, I do not pay attention too much to those. Pretty much what you guys want to do is pay attention to the hotspots on the map and these respawn points right now that you are seeing on your screen. So now with all the pictures and stuff gone, I think it's about time to put together all of the stuff you kind of just learned, I guess. Hopefully you guys learned something. This is my first attempt at a actual like instructional video for Call of Duty, so hopefully you guys, it does help any of you guys. If it does, please tell me. If it doesn't, please critique me on critique me on whatever you guys didn't like about this. Probably there's too many pictures, not too sure. Maybe it's also length because it's 20 minutes long, but this gameplay is so good and it's so perfect for what I'm talking about. If you guys look at just the actual gameplay, I'm using all of my perks to my advantage in this. I know I've talked about this before, using my perks to my advantage, because it's such a powerful thing whenever you have every single perk at your disposal. And I normally see people just not using every single thing that they have like at their disposal right now, whether they be at like level 80, like whatever prestige, and not have every single pro perk yet, or at least all the pro perks they use yet. And it's really saddening to me because it's like you should really use all the things that you have at your disposal. Like every time you give me like all those long range shots you see me getting here, these are all like a lot of them are because of marksmen, and that's because I can see their names pop up and everything. And another reason for me knowing where everyone is, because you guys will see I'm normally snapping right toward other people. There's 2 reasons for this. One is because I'm using SitRep Pro, and SitRep Pro is an absolute monster on any map, especially Aground and Erosion, because you can literally hear people across the map because these maps are so small. And half of the time, they're on some sort of material that amplifies their footsteps too. So like wood, metal, stuff like that, anything that's like kind of that has nothing below it, their footsteps are so loud. You can hear them wherever they are, it feels like. It doesn't matter like what kind of, where they are on the material. They're just going to be so loud. It's like elephants walking in a room. It's really funny just to like hear people run around and then get mad at me because they don't know how I'm hearing them and how I know exactly where they are. Another reason why I know exactly where everyone is, and if you guys look at the actual gameplay, you guys will see that I am looking toward all of the hotspots. Almost every single one of my kills is at a hotspot. Right there was at church. I just killed the guy in tower over there just a minute ago in top tower. You guys will see that I'm getting so many hotspots. I'm getting so many kills because I'm looking at spawn points and I'm looking at hotspots in like conjunction with each other. See, look at that. It's another hotspot right there. I just told you guys. It's pretty ridiculous how much the hotspots actually play a part in this, and how much people are actually really predictable in this, in my opinion. And I know that when I went over the respawns and stuff, I know that there are other spawn points in the game, obviously. I mean, someone just spawned over here in this little side alley thing, this, whatever, back alley. I still haven't gotten all of the callouts down. I still have North Alley and back alley I have to memorize, because definitely those two are the harder ones to actually, like, call out and stuff. And that's another thing, callouts. If you guys are playing with a group, in this gameplay, I was not playing with a group, actually. I was playing solo, and I absolutely just carried my team like a boss. But if you guys are playing in a group, callouts are another thing that are definitely... Look at that marksman. You definitely need to utilize your callouts because like it's like a mini UAV, and you can't protect against it. When you have a team that communicates, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't, like, mute them and they can't say anything. No, there's nothing you can protect against communication. So definitely learn callouts. And besides the callouts I already showed you, there's two things about the callouts I want to say. One is that you don't have to call them exactly what I call them because everyone's going to have a different name for each thing. Like I called church, obviously, but Eric the Aviator, he calls it art. And some people call it marble. Some people, there's all these different callouts. But as long as you know basically where it is, you should know where, every single thing should be, at least. You should know where everything should be. And it should be very, like... You should know exactly, if someone says it, you should know exactly where they're looking at everything. The only problem with my callouts is that two-story is kind of vague because obviously there's two stories in this. There's two stories in this, but one's called tower, one's called two-story. As long as people know what I'm talking about, I could add on like corner story or like corner two-story, corner building, stuff like that if I really wanted to. But it's all up to you. It's all up to your personal preference. But definitely learn the callouts when you guys have the chance. If you guys are actually going to be playing this sort of a game type, it is a big thing to learn the callouts on these because they're such a powerful thing. And whether it's in pub stars, even if you're tryharding in pubs, it's like it's not something you should be ashamed about. Tryharding in pubs happens every day in like every single people's lives. I don't know why people are like so embarrassed. Oh, you're a tryhard. You use callouts. Why is my video? For some reason my video is lagging like crazy. And it's like going at 1 FPS right now. So I can't exactly commentate on the actual gameplay. I'm sorry for that though. So hopefully you guys actually learned something from this because I definitely, it helped me, organize my thoughts about these maps. And definitely, I think Erosion is probably my favorite map of the two, even though I haven't actually done the aground gameplay yet, obviously. Oh, not the gameplay, but I haven't done the aground video yet, obviously. But I honestly think Erosion is my favorite map, just because you can't spawn trap as hard on Erosion, but you definitely can like spawn trap them. You can definitely get the upper hand on them, and with how like big the hotspots are, it is definitely something that's like, it's predictable. It's something that you don't have to predict the spawns, but you can predict where they're going to be going. Like, look at that. I'm looking over at church. I know that guy's in there. I get him tagged, and then, I wait for him. I use my Recon Pro, and I wait for him. And I see my teammates over in the bottom, over on the left over there. I know they're going to be over at barn. That guy got tagged earlier, and I knew exactly where he was. I'm using everything. This is such a perfect gameplay. I don't mean to, like, talk myself up, usually. I normally don't. I promise. I really don't. But this is such a perfect gameplay for this. I really am astonished that I actually got this gameplay for, this, because it utilizes everything I talk about in the game, actually. And I know for a fact if you guys do the same sort of like routes I do, you can definitely, anyone can get these kind of gameplays with this. In my opinion, in a 3v3 with people going in and out of the game, a 57-3 is definitely a great gameplay in my opinion. And I think it's very possible to get like 60 kills. But I think probably about 70 kills is the limit on how much people are going to get, unless they spawn trap on a ground. 70 kills on Erosion is probably going to be definitely a difficult thing to do. And I think it's going to be the new 100+ if you for the 3v3 community, I guess. If there is going to be a 3v3 community, in face-off maps. I don't know. That would be kind of cool, though. If there was like a community around the face-off maps, that would be pretty awesome in my opinion. Just because it's like... you could just play with other people who are all like 3v3 pros and stuff. You could have such a competitive like gameplay and stuff, and it's really awesome. And if you guys haven't figured out, I really enjoy competitive gameplay over actual pub stomping, because pub stomping is really boring. Even when you do like good and everything, it's not as fun as when you do good in competitive, because it's actually a challenge for people to do good in competitive, and it's something I know I'm not gonna do a lot. And it's when I actually do really well in competitive, I'm really proud of myself, because it's something that I could take in stride, and it's something I could actually like be proud of. But anyways, make sure to leave in the comments section below if this helped you or not. Give me, please critique me on whatever you guys want me to change about the next on the ground gameplay. Please tell me what you guys want. Just leave out any sort of like actual hurtful comments though. Any hurtful comments will just be blocked. It's just that normal thing. But just normal critiquing, that is just fine. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Black screen. See ya.